I was wondering if you could kind of share a little bit more about your note-taking process and how you summarize your books.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no super secret formula here either, Alex. It's things, I'm sure you've read about and do yourself, but throughout the process of reading, I take notes and highlights in the margins, and I summarize everything in the kind of the cover page, the front page of the book. And if there's something that's worded beautifully, I refer back to the page and sort of copy word for word. And sometimes it's worth not paraphrasing, but getting it exactly right. And once I finish the book, I type up all those notes into my Evernote. And what you see on the website is basically a copy and paste from my Evernote to the website. There's some personal stuff I remove, but for the most part, that's exactly it. There's no really, advanced software. There's no incredible process. Again, it's simple things, but this beautiful idea of take a simple idea and take it seriously. I think that system is a testament to that idea.
Yeah, and that's wonderful because I feel like right now people are saying like, oh, you need like a software like Rome or Obsidian or something other like super complex note-taking app. But it's like it's okay if you just use Evernote and just write out the summary. It's like the best system that works is the one that works for you. And I'm just super happy to hear that like you just use Evernote and like you just copy and paste it to your website and it works for you and it doesn't have to be super complex.
I think that's right. And it depends what you're optimizing for, right? I think Roam and some of these other tools can do a good job of visualizing it or creating interconnections that might not be obvious to you. And, Evernote has a lot of limits around that. And we could talk about some of that too. But you're right. It doesn't need to be this really complex thing. In fact, often simpler the better. And trying to refine my process over time and still looking to do that where it's not unnecessarily complicated. And if it does require a little extra effort, that it's worth it.
Mm, got it. And when you are reading, is it like only print books or ebooks or audiobooks, or is it a mix? Like, how do you read your books?
I prefer physical. And as much as possible, I do that for the reason we just said, where you can just write in the margin so much easier and you can flip back and forth. And, you recall something from 20 pages ago. In Kindle, it's really hard to do that. Audio, same thing. But there's definitely a time and place. When I'm driving, I have a couple books I listen to, and it might be something that I want to re-listen to. And then I have these core ideas in my head already, and it's just a refresher, if you will. And ebooks, I do as well, kind of before I go to sleep, read a little bit then. And um, it's a little bit simpler to do that compared to a physical book. But at the end of the day, I think the process of using your own writing and putting it in your own words is really powerful.
Mm. Yeah, totally agree with you there. And yeah, like you mentioned, like each book medium kind of has its pros and cons. So you kind of want to experiment with each one. And also similar to you, I just love print books because it's so much easier just to write and take notes. And then also once you have all of these notes, are you like reviewing them monthly? Like how do you kind of use your own book summaries to your advantage?
So at the end of the month, once I've kind of finished my books and it's time to move them from Evernote to my website, is the time that I review those books. So it's a good refresher. I try to bold things and make what I think are some of the most important points from that book stand out. And that, again, it just cements these ideas for me. So really, it's selfish. And then it's just a lot of people can hopefully benefit from it too. And at the end of the year, I use the whole month of December to review everything I've read in that year. So it brings back these ideas, it helps me make connections, and it's a chance to step back and get an overview. And that's been really helpful for me. And something that took a while to learn is I left to my natural devices, I would just sprint all day long, if that makes sense, and on to the next one and on to the next one. And for me, taking a moment to step back and pause and get a big picture overview and make sure that I give myself space, a break to make connections, to think about things a little bit deeper, has been more beneficial than reading the marginal book. So I think as I move forward, I'll incorporate some more of those pauses in my schedule to take a week or a month out of, the daily grind of work and to just step back and reflect a little bit more.
Yeah, I love what you just shared right there, and I'm definitely gonna incorporate that into my life. Just doing like a yearly review to see like what all the books you read and kind of which one had the most impact on you, and kind of also just spending that extra time to reflect on the most important lessons. So definitely something I'm gonna incorporate in my like reading life now. So thank you for sharing that.